Welcome back. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to add more pictures, and we're going to add the map picture, and how to create text boxes like this one with my name or this one with the information about the province, which have a semi-transparent background. It is very handy when you want to have text against a picture with multiple colors, like we see here. We've got light color for the clouds and dark color for the rocks and the greenery. But let's start with the map. I'm going to just zoom in a little bit down here with the zoom tool, and I'm going to delete the map. By the way, these are just to tell you what goes where. You don't need to worry about those yellow boxes. I'm going to go back to the internet, and I've typed Limpopo map, and I quite like this map because it gives us a nice image of the province with its main cities, its main tourist attraction, its main roads, and the countries that surround it. So here we go. I'm going to right click on it and copy image. Going back to my publisher file, and when you want to paste a picture, a new picture, you must make sure you don't have a previous picture selected, because for example, if I now have this picture selected and I'm going to paste using the shortcut Control V, the picture is going to take the place of the other picture. Unhappy, click the undo button or the shortcut Control Z. So I'm clicking outside, nothing is selected, and I'm going to use a Control V again. Here's my picture. Okay. Sometimes when you add pictures, you can't see them. Okay, they go behind. In order to change that, you need to click the Format tools, and using the Bring Forward or Send Backward, you change the location. Imagine each thing was a piece of paper, and every time you add a piece of paper, it hides something that's underneath it. Same with the computer. Each picture and each text box is like a little piece of paper that's sitting one on top of the other, and you just need to make sure that the one that you want to have on top are in fact on top. So I'm going to bring that forward, and I'm going to make it smaller. Always use the corner handles to make a picture smaller. And also I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to make sure that the picture sits very nicely inside that third of the page, so between this guideline and this guideline. That will mean that when I am going to fold my brochure, once it's printed, it's going to sit very nicely on the back side of it. So that's the picture. Now we're going to look at the text boxes. I'm going to zoom out a little bit first. Okay, so here's a text box with information about the province, and you will see that if a normal text box will look like that. Okay, when you first put it in. How to put a text box in? Insert, draw text box. Click, and you can type. Okay. But now, oops, excuse me. Since we already have that, you can see straight away that when you have a picture with a different color on it and you want to have a text on top of it, sometimes it's very tricky to choose the color for the text, because the black looks great against the sky, but you can't really read it against the bushes and the rocks and the trees. So yes, you can go ahead and you can change the color of the text, and maybe you'll be lucky to find something that works across, like this orange, or you can use different colors. But another option is to change the fill of that text box. The way to do it is, of course, you got to make sure your text box is selected. Then you go to the Drawing Tools Format, and you go to Shape Fill, and you choose a color. Okay, now normally the color might look like, hold on, normally when you choose a color, it will look like this, like a block of color. But then again, where's my beautiful picture? So you might have seen what I've done, but I'm going to do it now slowly. So under the Shape Fill, you also have the More Fill colors. And there you've got the transparency slider down here. And 0 transparency means that it's a full color, it's opaque. And 100% transparency means it's 100% see-through, which will mean that you'll see no color. So let's try to have just a little bit of color, let's say 70%. So at 70% transparent and 30% color. Okay, and you can see that it's created that very, very light see-through pink, which allows me to see the picture very clearly underneath, so it's not interrupted, but at the same time, reading the text is much, much, much easier. I have done the same thing over here in this text box. Okay, once I'm happy with my text box, I want to make sure it sits comfortably between this guideline and about the same distance from the end of the page. So let's say I can make it reach up to here. Again, that will mean that when you fold it, once it's printed, it sits very nicely on the right section of the page. You finish with the page, you make sure everything is in the right place, you've checked that against the guidelines. What you can do now is you can take your background picture and you can make it as big as possible so it takes the entire space of the page. And again, I'm using the corners so that it won't get distorted. And if you want to get a general impression of how it's going to look like once printed, you can click on File, Print, but don't click the print here. You can just see the preview of your page here. If you're happy with the layout, that's fantastic. You can go ahead and move to the inside page, which I will show you how to do in the next tutorial.